palworld time, shall we? So. Oh, man. Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? It only took us 3 hours to get on this topic, right? Okay. I love that some incel streamer thinks his opinion is more important than folks like Jim Mahfood and Jason Sean Alexander fucking streamers. Dude, streamers. I've been complaining about this since the first day I've started streaming, I'm pretty sure. Or at the very least for the past 2 years. Okay? Sorry. But I think it's the cringiest thing that YouTubers and streamers do is take themselves so fucking seriously and think they're the most important person in the room. Always. It is crazy to me how many streamers and content creators in general think that they are the beacons of light and only they can usher us into the new age. Same for podcasters. Dude, you get in front of a camera and talk. All right? Maybe calm down a little bit. Okay? Maybe just a little. This is especially bad in like political spheres. I think, oh, dude, I found the Stanley Cup video. Listen, okay? Tooth blood. Listen, if you... If you actually do cause real change, you have my respect. I'm not gonna lie. Okay? Like the fact that if you can raise like millions of dollars for real people, that's pretty cool. You are enacting real change. Outside of that, can we please stop? Can we please stop? Please. It's so cringe. Okay, moving on. We're not there yet. Let's go.
To expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference.
I want to start from the beginning. I wish I could. Maybe we'll pull the VOD. Because I actually want to hear the context. I want to hear the sentences before he says this, but I don't know if anyone has a timestamp for the VOD or not. Maybe we'll look and see. Because I think the context is important. Oh, actually, you know what? This is probably a clip on LSF. And on LSF, you can immediately go to the VOD through there. So let's see. Unless it's not. I guess it's not. Oh, let's check. Well. Okay, it's not there. All right, we'll press play.
To expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No. Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because
So let's talk about a couple things here. I think that it's important to not look like dumbasses when we criticize people like Asmongold. All right. I think actually it's the most important thing you can focus on. So really quickly, he's saying here, for me to think that we should not use a product, I have to believe that the product has serious ethical concerns. For me, AI does not. I don't think that AI is something that I should even care about, right? That's what he says here.
expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial.
So it has to be substantial. Basically saying oh, sorry, I'm juggling the thoughts in my brain. My first reaction to this, or when I watched it the first time, I had like a lot of different reactions. The first time I watched this, I thought this is fucking stupid. What? So any product you receive, as long as consumers buy it, it's fine. And then when I rewatched it, I realized no, at the very beginning, he says that he would draw a moral line. So maybe not every product. So maybe like American children being forced to work in factories that kill 30 American children a day, right? Maybe that would be the moral line for him, right? So it's not that there's nothing that he wouldn't consume, or rather that there's nothing that would stop him from consuming the product as long as he enjoyed the product, but rather that there is a moral line, and AI for him is just, it doesn't go far enough for him to care. Okay? Now, people keep thinking that this is about palworld. Technically, palworld caused the conversation, to be very clear. But as far as I know, this conversation sort of delved instead into AI, right? Because palworld isn't made by AI. It's just that the developer, or at least one of the developers of palworld, has talked about how he is openly very pro AI. All right.
And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No. Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence
It
is
doesn't
that
matter. Nobody really
the
cares about
lead
this.
developer has been very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're gonna be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter, because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares. Like, it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these, like, really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up. I like watching the Thor movie. It was cool.
Man, what a mess. Man, I just have so many opinions on this clip. It's just so fucked up. It's so fucked up how many opinions I have on this clip. I wish it was simple. I wish I wish I did not have as many opinions as I do on this. So it could just be easy and be like, oh, LOL, Asmongold, L. Let me just pull up my tweet, okay? Let me pull up my tweet. I know this is going to be an annoying conversation, which is why I'm dreading it. As a VFX artist, the sentiment is terrifying to me because of its popularity. Hi, Meerkat. Hi. Hi. Hi, Meerkat. Please don't press any of the buttons on my keyboard. Thanks. Okay. So he says, quote, artist opinions don't matter because what matters is the opinion of the people buying the product. Now, the success of palworld, okay, just like everything else, literally shows that this is always going to be true. The only thing that's going to matter, like almost all of the time in markets, is do people want this thing? Yes. That's it. That is what decides if something happens or doesn't happen. And I see people criticizing it and criticizing this notion, but that is sort of just reality, right? And let me finish. The reality is, in a system that has markets, aka capitalism, amongst other things, consistently, if people want that thing, how that thing comes to be is sort of not relevant. Take factory farming, for example. In fact, factory farming is so morally wrong, and there are still people who, when you try and talk to them about this, they are so stuck in their ways that they will start fighting you. Like, you could have a conversation with someone and tell them, like the factory farming stuff is like really bad. And they're like, oh, like, what do you mean? Here's some video footage of like what the factory farming stuff looks like. And here are all the terrible things that happen because of it. And they see that and they learn about that. And the way that they respond is, yeah, well, come fucking take my steak. Upon learning that the thing that they enjoy is ethically unbelievably bad, they decide to double down. Which is very clear. Which is very different from, fuck, that really sucks. That really sucks that my burgers are made with the most suffering. Now I get to feel guilty every time I buy a burger. Great. No. The people want their products so badly that they will start becoming morally bankrupt people to the point where they start fighting you at the notion that you might take away something that they like. Okay? And you have to recognize that this is true. Now, whether or not this is true all the time, different conversation. Whether or not this is true in a country that isn't so fucking individualistic, different conversation. I think individualism in America has like been one of the worst things ever, like in the history of the world. All right. And individualism being a core value and a core tenet of being an American is sort of what leads to a lot of these sort of thoughts and stuff. So that's to say my first point, right? To say, yes, this is something that is true. At the end of the day, if people really like something, they're gonna get it. Look at fucking Hogwarts Legacy, right? And I take issue with people that are disagreeing with sort of the reality of the US or the majority of consumers. However, I also take an issue with people pretending like Asmongold's presentation of this issue is perfectly fine. His presentation of this issue is exactly why people are mad. Okay? Because he didn't present it like, man, isn't this a fucked up reality? He presented it like, that's life, baby. Stop fighting the inevitable. All right? I don't care. Facts don't care about your feelings, liberal. It's like, oh my God. You know, you can present things in a way that doesn't make you unlikable, right? You can present things in a way that makes people agree with you. Do you know that, Asmongold? Do you know that? You can get people to like you by spitting facts and doing it in a way that you don't come off as like an asshole. I know his retort to this would be, I don't give a fuck, don't watch me then. To which I would say, you should want that for you inside your body. You should want that for you. You should want to be someone that makes arguments that are convincing to other people. Yeah, fuck chat, okay? Literally, genuinely. Fuck chat, fuck the internet, fuck all that shit. At the end of the day, every single streamer consistently will tell you, you don't like my stream, get the fuck out. If you like my stream, I cherish you and I hope you enjoy every minute. And I hope if I do anything that offends you, that you bring it up to me in a constructive way. And if you don't, get the fuck out. I don't care. Literally, I don't care. You are like the annoying people that think that they can tone police you and the annoying people that think that they can follow police you and do all this other shit. It's like, stop, okay? And you would be surprised, by the way, I know this is just like, oh, my life is so hard. The number of people who think that they are entitled to make changes to your stream. Maybe my experience with this is worse because of politics, because I stream politics, but I've noticed that this is true sort of across the board. The number of people that think that they can, like, I guess, command you to stop streaming something, or command you to start streaming something, or to command you to do something. It's like, okay, you seem to be mistaken. I don't follow your orders. This is still my stream. I'm not going to just do whatever everyone else wants me to do. That's stupid. That's dumb. Are you kidding me? If I listened to every suggestion, I would have 2 viewers, okay? All right? Because the suggestions are not always good, okay? The suggestions are coming from people who watch streams, not people who do streams, which are very different things, right? I'm sure anyone who's run any type of business knows that there are certain things that even if a million consumers ask for them, you shouldn't do those things. You just shouldn't do them, right? For one reason or another. Okay. Now. But if you did one day where chat calls the stream, though, that would be kind of fun. I did that once and I wanted to... in Minecraft. The people that were great. And the people that weren't, I'm going to be honest, I'm bigoted towards people who have audio that's like, and I'm also a huge pushover. And it is very hard for me to say, sorry, your mic sucks too bad. I'm ending the call. So, yeah. Anywho. All right. Anywho. Denims is an audiophile. No, I don't mind bad mics. It's just like, I don't want to have to use brain power to hear what you're saying. Okay? Once I'm like actively working to understand the words, because I literally can't hear it over the fucking static or the fucking wind turbine that you live in. Yes. Then I become bigoted. Yes. It's because I don't want to have to strain to understand. Okay. All right. Mayor cat. All right. Bad mics aren't allowed in my Discord. You're so fucking based. Holy shit. You're so based. I'm a fucking pussy ass pushover. So I've never done this, by the way. But I have always wanted to just ban people who have dog shit mics because they make everyone else suffer, you know? But I'm a pushover, so I never do it. I just wait until somebody else does it. It's like, oh, but that's that's so mean, you know? But you're making everyone suffer. The most offensive, if we could just talk about Discord for 2 seconds. The most offensive is people who have static in their background and are not on push to talk. I hate you. I hate you. You are so inconsiderate to everyone around you. The people who eat food and they have like a bag of chips and they're crunching the bag of chips into the mic while other people are trying to have a conversation. I hate you. You are so selfish. You're such a sick fuck. Oh my God. How could you do this? How could you do this to everyone around you, man? Okay. The people with microphones next to the loudest mechanical keyboard you've ever heard. Oh, okay. Anyways. I feel like it's valid, though, to ban people who don't use push to talk, even though you ask them to. You know what I mean? I feel like it's valid to ban those people where everyone's saying, hey, like, it's really frustrating because we can't hear anything because your mic is so loud. And they're like, okay, and? Then I think it's valid to ban those people. Those are the people I ban. Those people, yeah. Because you're accepting that you're an inconsiderate fuck and you're admitting that you don't care. Everyone else, I struggle. I can't. I'm too much of a pussy, dude. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I can't. Here's the VOD for context. Oh, thank you, Oxminer. Thank you. I will say, I do one thing, okay? If I'm in someone else's server and there's someone else that has a really bad microphone and I don't know if I have like sensory issues or what, but audio, like when there's too much shit, I get so stressed. Okay? I get so stressed. It makes me so frustrated. Sometimes even just like hearing the radio or like music and I'm trying to think, it's like, turn this off. Finally. Or if someone else is talking, I can't make sentences. If I'm listening to someone else talking, my brain just wants to focus in and then I struggle to make sentences. Okay? I assume most people are the same way. I assume it's pretty normal. Okay. I will say though, my one toxic quality on this, okay? My one toxic quality. If I'm in somebody else's server and someone in that server has a terrible microphone and it starts like giving me sensory overload to the point where I literally can't think anymore, I just tell them, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be honest, man. I can't hear anything over the static of your microphone. I'm going to mute you. So if you say anything and I don't respond, that's why. That's the most toxic that I go. Because I would never go into a server and be like, you need to ban this guy. You need to mute this guy, whatever. I just tell them like, listen, sorry if I don't respond to you. I just can't listen to your microphone. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm going to chew my own arm off, okay? I usually don't even tell them I'm going to mute them. Oh, God. Okay. Let's get back to the topic. Back to the topic. In addition to what I said, that this is how markets work, and sadly, this is the reality and the natural conclusion to an individualistic, capitalistic society. Furthermore, Americans in particular are so divorced from where their goods come from. In a way that's concerning. Now, I can't make an actually good argument. I've tried on this front, but something just doesn't sit right with me. The people who love eating meat, but the idea of killing an animal and skinning it is they could never do it. I'm not talking about not wanting to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to fucking skin an animal. But if I wanted to and I had to, I would do it. And I have, and it's just where your food comes from. You know what I mean? Part of getting meat is killing an animal and skinning it. Sorry, it's just the reality, right? And something just like doesn't sit right with me. The fact that like there's a lot of Americans that physically can't do that. Now, I'm not able, I'll be completely honest with you guys, I'm not able to make an actual argument off of that because I don't think that there exists one. I just feel discomfort thinking about those people. You know? Using a bit of a more general topic, people are so divorced from all of their labor, all of it. You probably, sorry, I'm trying to think of the words. All of us, excuse me, probably have no idea where most of our shit comes from. I don't mean China. Yeah, of course, zucchini. I don't mean, oh, I know where my stuff comes from. It says China. I'm saying from the factory. Almost all of us don't know the details of how our stuff is being made. We have an idea and we kind of know what's happening. But it's one thing to know what's happening and to actively watch it happen. You know? And I think that's bad. Because once you stop knowing or caring about the labor, you start treating the workers who make your goods like absolute garbage. And that's bad. That's very bad. Now, obviously, we exist in a capitalistic society and it's impossible to consume anything that wasn't made with a little bit of exploitation. Impossible. Literally impossible. That's the whole premise of The Good Place. It's just not possible. However, I think there's a big difference between knowing and getting it and wanting those conditions to change versus knowing and getting it and not caring. Almost certainly, my iPhone was made with sweatshop labor, with people who are underpaid and overworked and are being more exploited than any other group of people. Maybe outside of like the child laborers that make our chocolate with raw materials from Africa. Yep. So, slave miners. Yeah, and that's not even talking about the mines that they get the lithium from and the laborers that are working in those mines that are essentially indentured servants. Okay. And this is there's no consumption without exploitation or whatever, no ethical consumption under capitalism. You need a phone to exist in American society. You need one. If you want to participate in American society, you want to participate in the job force, you need a phone. The alternative is you go get a fucking cabin in the woods and grow all your own food and make your own water, etc., etc. Okay? The reality, however, okay, is that most of us are going to participate in society. Most of us are going to live in cities or towns. And if you are living in a city or a town that has even more than 100 people, chances are you need a phone. You cannot have a job without a phone. You cannot communicate with anyone without a phone. You can't have a social life without a phone. You need one. And then there are some jobs where you actually need a phone. Unironically, working at Amazon, I made a scheduling app. If you wanted to be on the schedule, you needed to have a phone. Yes. Doesn't the government harass people that try to get off the grid? I don't know. I thought that was mostly conspiracy theory. It could be true. That's sort of besides the point because most of us enjoy the benefits of living in civilized society, uncivilized society. Most of us enjoy the ability to have a working plumbing system. Most of us enjoy the ability to have internet access. Most of us enjoy the ability to have electricians. You know what I mean? We enjoy living in a society that is cooperative. The reality is, if you decide that you want to live in society, there are things that you cannot avoid that are going to be exploitative. Maybe if you're really fucking rich and you can contract someone to make everything for you, then that's a little bit different. But the rest of us, we can't. And the goal is to just do as little exploitation as possible. I have to have a phone just to work at fucking Walmart. Literally, if you want a job in the US, you need a phone. You need one. The goal is, let's try and get the exploitation to a minimum. Let's try and get as low as we can, right? Because even if you can make it just a little bit less, if you can help just a little bit, you should try, right? So maybe you shouldn't buy a new phone every year. Maybe you don't need that plastic garbage that's available on Temu. Maybe we can reduce our consumerism even just a little bit, and that would make a huge difference. Maybe we can go thrifting more instead of buying garbage off of internet sites that you know is being made with underpaid labor, slave conditions essentially, and you know it's garbage quality and you know it's going to end up in a landfill very soon. Maybe try and make those purchases as few as try and make that as minimal as possible. You know? Y'all get what I'm putting down? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? I'll buy 50 Stanley Cups if I want to. Yeah. The only way to fix this is to change how production and supply lines work? Yeah. Unfortunately. That's a much bigger problem to solve than one might think. Okay, with all of that in mind. This is so complicated. It's going to take me forever to get through this point, but I want to be very clear and I want to not make any mistakes, okay? I will continue saying a few of the things that I've already said. I'm not sure how many people in here know how antitrust laws work or where they originated from, essentially. My understanding is that they took off because of literal oil barons in the late 1800s who would essentially buy out all the competition and then undercharge for their product or their oil to run all of the other businesses out of the market. And then once they had the power, once they were the only competitor, they would jack the prices all the way up. Let's say gas is $1. Pretend like this makes sense, okay? Gas is averaging $1. This massive corporation comes into your town and starts charging 50 cents. Now they're losing money on that 50-cent charge. But if they do it long enough, all the other people, all the other providers have to leave. They have to close their business because no one is going to pay twice as much for something. Once all the other businesses close down, the business that is charging 50 cents now starts charging $3. After this happened, after this, the oil stuff was out of fucking control in the US, we invented, I don't know what to say about that, antitrust laws. Now, the problem is our antitrust laws only give a shit about consumers. And core to our antitrust laws is simply, listen, you can do whatever you want. You're just not allowed to fuck with consumers. You're not allowed to come in, buy out all the business, and then overcharge this product. That's predatory practicing, and consumers deserve that protection. Unfortunately, we did not put any protections for laborers, which is how we got Amazon. Amazon is this fucking behemoth of a corporation at this point. Probably, is it? I'm not sure. Maybe there's some very obvious one that I'm forgetting, but probably one of the biggest corporations ever, like, to exist, if not the biggest. Someone who knows that information, please go ahead and post it if you know that. You still cannot beat Amazon's prices for a lot of fucking things. The fact that I can go on Amazon and HDMI cords are $10, but if I go to a Best Buy, it's $30? You can't beat those prices. And despite the fact that they've become the behemoth that they are today, you still can't beat those prices. You still can't. Amazon regularly makes their own version of shit and undercuts others on stores. Yeah, I mean, that is, I haven't kept up with it, but there was a lawsuit against Amazon for this exact reason. Basically, attempting to do any antitrust on Amazon is not going to work. However, there might be a case to be made about the fact that if you engineer a product, let's say the pooper scooper or some shit, and Amazon realizes that your product is doing really well and it's selling really well, and you put in $500,000 of your own money to invent the pooper scooper, and you only did that because you expected and anticipated profits on that. Otherwise, you would have not put in your life savings there. Amazon sees that your product is doing really well. They make a carbon copy of your product for a fraction of the price because they have economies of scale that you don't. They sell it cheaper than you do, and they recommend their Amazon version. And your product, the original product, is all the way at the bottom. Now, there's a case to be made that Amazon is engaging in illegal practices by doing that. However, as a retailer, just like we are a marketplace, there's no way any lawsuit is actually going to effectively change that. It's going to effectively change the fact that Amazon is the world's biggest marketplace, and it's probably not going to change. Maybe there's marketplaces, to be clear, in China that are way larger than that. I'm not sure. I feel like every time you think that something is really big, you find out that it's bigger in China. But at the very least, in the United States, grocery stores do this too. Yeah. Yep. Walmart has a great value shit next to the other shit in the aisle. You want a cheaper alternative? I hate it. Yeah. Alibaba, maybe. Alibaba is, yeah. Does it bring in more money than Amazon? Probably, actually. It's bigger in Texas, more like it's bigger in China, yeah. And unfortunately, antitrust laws only caring about consumers is not good enough. Because guess what? Almost all of the consumers that engage in the market are also laborers. So yeah, you can't beat those prices. And then you show up to work and your office literally has a cry box because you are so depressed working that job. But you can't beat those prices. And I would say then the only thing you can afford is the prices that can't be beat. Yeah. Which is bad. We need to care about laborers as much as we care about consumers. There's just as much as we care about consumer protection, we need to have that same level for laborers. It is the only way you can have a thriving middle class, essentially. And a thriving middle class, according to economists, if we subscribe to capitalist doctrine, thriving middle class is objectively great for the economy. When you have too many people at the top and too many people at the bottom, bad. Generally speaking, when you have a lot of people in the middle, good. Biggest companies in the world by market cap. Oh, Microsoft. That makes sense, actually. Duh. Of course, Microsoft. Apple. That makes sense, too. Oh, yeah. Of course. Oil from Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Duh. Google. Why am I? Amazon is 5. Okay. Amazon is 5. So Amazon is definitely the biggest, largest marketplace available currently, seemingly. Okay. Does make sense that these would be Microsoft, Apple, and Google would be bigger than Amazon. Duh. I forgot that they existed. All right. Do you guys get what I'm trying to talk about? You understand what I'm saying, essentially? Just that everything I just said about consumers and workers and that we care too much about consumers and just not enough about laborers. And we need to make progress on this, because if you only give a shit about consumers and that's it, what you end up with is child labor 80 hours a week, no benefits, no fire exits, and no OSHA protections. Also, the entire United States is covered in smog. Bad, actually. Bad. I'm back. The tears came out and I had to recoup in the walk-in freezer. Dude, the walk-in freezer memes, that's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. That's probably true, Z. I brought up the cry boxes one day to my parents talking about how bad Amazon labor is, and their response was, LOL, why do the snowflake workers need a place to cry? When in reality, the people crying are not like SJW snowflakes. It's like dudes in their fucking 40s that are working physical labor jobs 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and they still can't afford a house. With medical problems, yes. All right. Now that we've set up the groundwork. Holy moly. Now that we've set up all the groundwork, at this point, if anyone says something stupid, you get banned. Because you weren't here for this fucking long-ass preamble. As someone who used to do a lot of art and drawing, as someone who used to make money off of it, who used to make money off of freelance commissioning, and as someone who wanted to go to school for video game graphic design, straight up FR, I think a lot of the conversations surrounding AI, specifically AI art, are misguided attempts. Misguided attempts at trying to maintain civilized society. Sorry, I just like saying drawing. It's like saying nar instead of no. You can't make me stop. Okay. I think there's a lot of people that are unironically pulling the conservative, oh, nar, my gerbs, about art. Unless we ban AI art, which in my opinion is not a good idea, and I'll get into why, AI art isn't going anywhere. It's not. Yeah, you can't uninvent technology. Yes. Potentially, we could put in some protections for artwork that is being used by these AI art companies without permission. The TLDR here would be that if you produce physical images on the internet, you need to be properly compensated if it is used in any AI art. And ideally, you would have some IP protection. And you would be able to choose if you want the royalty pennies that they'll throw at you, or if you don't want your stuff being used in somebody else's engine. Now, of course, as anyone here can understand, that's a lot easier said than done. A lot easier said than done. Look at piracy. It's just fucked. It's fucked. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try. I think that there's something particularly offensive about a massive corporation like Blizzard using AI art, where all of the artists who made artwork that was used in that engine are not being compensated. I think there's something very fucked about a million or billion or trillion-dollar company using AI art tools and not being held accountable at all. And I think that there's a possibility that we could regulate at least the major companies. Now, they're still going to do it, but ideally we could sue the shit out of them and have, what is it called? Lawsuits that have lots of people, like Herbalife. Multi-class action lawsuits. Is that the name? Yeah, great. Class action lawsuits. Ideally, we could maybe regulate that. That maybe via fear of a class action lawsuit, major corporations aren't literally stealing your art. I don't really care about hobbyists using AI art. I don't really care about, like, for example, like people using it. I just don't think that that matters that much. Because chances are the individuals using it don't even have the means to hire an artist to begin with. But there's something like unbelievably fucked up about a corporation that has the money to pay for an actual artist and is just choosing to not do it. There's a company that sells drawing pads, Wacom. I've heard about this because I had a Wacom tablet that used AI art in their advertisement, which is pretty hilarious. Yep, I heard about this. Fucked up, unbelievably so. Hobbyist, I use AI art to create my character portrait for a private D&D campaign. See, so this is, and I've seen people get upset about this. And I think if you are getting upset at people using AI art for their personal hobbies and they're making no money off of it, I really don't think we should give a fuck about that. Okay? That's really not worth caring about. It's really, you're missing the point and you're missing the thing that's actually important. And if this is something that you care about, please reconsider. Okay? Please reconsider your upsetness about this. I don't think that there's anything wrong with people making the AI art or whatever, and they're using it in a private D&D campaign. They're making no money off of it. Or like the fucking using it for some other personal means. Okay. Whew. My girl, people will use AI to make porn of you. We need stronger regulation. A, I wouldn't be surprised if it already has happened. B, I simply look away. I don't think about things that I don't want to think about. C, there is a big difference between deepfake porn and AI art. One of them is a violation of your personhood. One of them is not. I think anything AI porn related, we need insane, intense regulations on that stuff. And it needs to be treated, maybe some of you will think that this is extreme. It needs to be treated the way that we treat or that we punish people who download or obtain child pornography. It is unbelievably unethical to do that, and you should be punished by the law for producing or having it when you do not have the consent of that person. Deepfake porn, very different from you wanting an anime girl profile picture and you don't want to pay an artist to make one. Very different. At the very least, it should be treated like revenge porn. Very least. Okay, I'm not saying that it's like child pornography or that it's comparable. I'm saying I think that the punishment needs to be fucking harsh so people are afraid of doing it. That's what I'm saying. That was more of the point that I was trying to say. Obviously, it's not like that. It's obviously way more morally like revenge porn, but I think it deserves a harsher sentence. Right? Not necessarily true. Imagine someone uses AI to depict you as a Nazi. That is also morally incorrect. Yeah, but the difference there is that I think that some of that could fall under parody law. I don't think anything porn related can fall under parody law. I think if there's a page that exists, and this would line up with everything else that we already have on parody law, if a page exists that actively does this type of shit, whatever. As long as people, there is no universe where a reasonable person would think that was a real photo. You understand? That, I think, is the one important, notable difference. I don't think there's any excuse for parody porn. I don't think so. That's not a thing that I think would work. My concern with AI is when we see fake body cam footage in cop shootings, falsified video evidence in court cases. That's a whole other issue. Oh, woo! That is a different issue. That's above my pay grade. If we wanted to have that conversation, that would be like a 2-hour-long conversation. So let's try. I'm going to just try and stay on topic just because this is a whole conversation. Okay. All right. Basically, the idea is when people, if you are making AI footage, or you are making AI photos, it should be obvious to everyone that it is AI. That, I think, should be at the core of legislation. And if you feel that someone is spreading photos of you wearing or like having a Nazi tattoo or some shit, and they're pretending like it's real, you should be able to sue that person for defamation, libel, whatever. But if they could argue this is parody, this is entertainment, whatever, unfortunately, that I think legally would just, it's fucked up. It's morally incorrect. You shouldn't do it and you're a bad person for doing it. But trying to ban that is going to fuck with a lot of different precedents in a lot of different fucking ways that is not worth it. I promise. Right? Rather just, if you don't put an AI tag on something that is a real person or people would assume that it is real, you should get fined or something like that. There should be some AI watermark. And I think that's how the US is probably going to go. That's probably the direction that the US is going to go. It's going to force all these companies to make you put an AI watermark somewhere. That's, I think, probably how the US law is going to go. Unfortunately, US law is like always a decade late on internet stuff. So maybe in a decade we'll see really good stuff like that. But the generated porn of real people, that needs to be outright, completely, entirely banned. Just because it's so similar to revenge porn and is such a violation of a character or violation of a person. Now. So basically NFT, sort of? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% about what you mean by that. Okay. Now, back to the original Asmongold clip, okay? What he's saying is true. AI is not going to go anywhere, and consumers only care about if the product is good. They don't give a shit about the labor. And this has been shown time and time again. At the very least, U.S. individualism and capitalism have proven this to be true consistently, okay? I disagree with the blasé attitude towards this fact, but not because I think we need to give a fuck about labor being automated. I think you've lost the plot the second you start focusing on labor being automated. Labor being automated is not an inherently bad thing. What you're upset at is corporations. Keep your focus on corporations. You are not upset at automation, okay? I promise you. I promise you. All right? Imagine a universe where we get to live like ancient Greeks and we can sit around having sex and eating grapes all day. All right? Enjoying the pleasures of life. You want to know why? Because everything's automated. Food is automated. Housing somehow is automated. Water is somehow automated. Everything being automated. That's the fucking dream. Are you kidding me? That's the dream. The dream is no one in society needs to work. I do not dream of labor. I do not have a dream job. I don't dream of labor. And that everything that is created by people is something that actually people wanted to make. Wouldn't that be an amazing universe? Wouldn't that be an amazing universe that if people made art, it wasn't because they felt like they had to pay their bills? It was because they wanted to make that art? If someone wanted to get into carpentry, they did it because they wanted to? If you are directing any of your anger towards automation, you are making a huge mistake. Your anger is towards capitalism, and your anger is towards corporations. A universe that is entirely automated, where people get to do things because they want to, and that's it, is fucking sick. Fucking amazing. All right. Whew. I had to get it off my chest because it makes me very frustrated when I see people talking about AI stealing people's jobs. Okay? It gives me the same kind of vibe as the coal miners, I guess, that are like, no. You can be scared about who's going to control automation? How do I give you a medal? How do I do that? Fucking absolutely based. Completely, entirely, absolutely based. No. I was talking about something. I also, in my opinion, there's about like 5% of my being that believes in accelerationism. Okay. And I try never to let that level go above 5% because then you start having the dumbest political ideology on the planet, sadly. But I do, that 5% exists. And my dream is that in a universe where everything's automated and somehow we are still working minimum wage labor and living like shit, that people would eventually look around and be like, wait a minute, everything in our society has been automated. Why the fuck are we still working? But that's neither here nor there. That is just my personal fantasy that I like to indulge in. All right? Also, really quickly, can we talk about something else? Video games that are made with love and passion are always better than video games made by corporations that their main goal is to make money. Somewhere Zizek is proud, yeah. Because you want to know what? You just end up with fucking microtransactions and loot boxes. And in my experience, every single time that a game, this is why people love indie developers. Every single time that a game is made with actual love, people actually get to enjoy the game. Larian Studios making Baldur's Gate 3, which in my opinion is probably my favorite game of all time. There's just so many things in that game that I love. There's so many things in that game that I absolutely love. At the very least, best game of the decade. The things that it does perfectly. If you're someone who doesn't like that, you just want to play MOBAs, opinion discarded, League player. No, but actually, like, if it's not your cup of tea, I understand totally 100%. It doesn't have to be yours. But the thing is, Baldur's Gate 3 objectively is an amazing game because all of the things that it does them very well. Turn-based games, as a concept or like as a genre, it does it very well. RP or like good characters, it does it very well. World building, very well. Romance, good. All of the things that it does, I feel like it does it like 9 or 10 out of 10. Okay. It is so hot. I'm sweating like a fucking sinner in church. Why am I living like this? Oh, my friend bought Baldur's Gate 3, played it for 5 minutes, realized it was turn-based combat, and then returned it. Yeah. If you don't like turn-based games, it's not going to be a good game for you, but that's not relevant to it being a good game. Right? It doesn't matter how much I don't like the genre of like Valorant. That's just not my kind of shooter. It's not my kind of game, personally. Objectively, Valorant seemingly made pretty well. Seemingly, Valorant's got a nice polish to it, nice characters, and the people who like it really, really, really love it because it does the things that it's supposed to do well. That's just what I'm talking about, okay? Now, all of that was to say, automation is not inherently bad, and we should not view it that way, okay? Our concerns and our statements about this should be entirely, we need to put in protections for laborers that unfortunately have to live under capitalism that are going to be abused by AI art. I don't like seeing people say we need to ban AI art because people are going to lose their jobs. I don't like it. I don't like it, okay? Now, obviously, you're your own person. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not going to be able to change your opinion, you know? I'm just sharing my opinion, and my opinion is we should try and make our arguments about this succinct and valid, and the criticisms of how AI art is currently going forward should be impenetrable, okay? You should be able to make the perfect argument that no matter what anyone says, they just look like an idiot. Very similar to like veganism. Like, it doesn't matter how much it makes you mad. The meat that you get in the United States is made with suffering. And a lot of it. And you look like a fucking dumbass when someone tells you that, and in response you say, come and take my burger. You just look like a fucking moron, okay? So let's make our arguments about this valid, okay? Let's make our arguments about this clean and precise, okay? So losing your livelihood isn't valid. Check. You're so dumb. You're actually the dumbest person on the planet. I do not dream of labor. I do not dream of working a job. I do not dream of drawing for other people. Okay? And if you spoke to an actual artist, which I am, okay? Been doing it for over a decade. If you spoke to an actual artist, They would all tell you they only do commissions because they have to. What they really want to do, they do in small doses, and the rest of their time is spent doing commissions that they don't want to do because it's characters that they don't like or artwork that they don't like or whatever. It's a genre that they don't want to do, or it's spent doing fan art so that they can get traction. When in reality, all they want to do is draw their own content. They want to do their art. Okay? You're such an idiot and you don't understand what artistry is about if you think that we need to protect artist jobs because how will they make a living? You've lost the plot. You've lost the plot. And if you knew anything about our history as well, you would know that the entirety of France and Impressionism and Expressionism is literally built around this concept and the fact that guilds or even commissioning for rich, famous people, aka fucking popes and shit, was bad. And people fought against it because they hated the fact that they had to make art for other people. And they wanted to make art of what they wanted to make. They wanted to draw their silly little guys and they were forced to do this other shit. Okay? Please. All right, please. Christ. Okay. Anyways, sorry. This is a very heated topic for me because art is very near and dear to my heart. Okay? How about making an argument about how much money AI art is taking from them? Yeah, I think that's good. 100%. I think that AI needs to be regulated. I've never said that anything else. I think AI art, actually, AI art companies are one of the biggest shams because they're pretending like their code is not unbelievably unethical. Yeah, the people who created the programs that do this, it's impressive work on its own. It's not ethical, however, to steal other people's work. All right, moving on. Poor Michelangelo having to depict females. You guys already know. My Michelangelo lemon breast sculptures. Man just wanted to sculpt cock, okay? And he was forced to sculpt women. Ugh. Even worse, cis women, okay?
Art, more like shart. I want to force all artists to be making more shadow hard content.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. The programs don't work if the inputs aren't supplied? Yep. Exactly. I think the harm should only be measured in money. And as a programmer, you should have it generative, not utilize other artwork for free. Artists should also sell data to developers, which is what I said a little bit earlier. Totally agree. If you are a major AI art company, you should be required to pay out artists that you are using their work for. And you should only be able to use it if they tell you you're allowed to. And they tell you that you have to compensate them. That is, in my opinion, good. Also, Doodleburb, you linked a great thing. You said there are instances where AI can help artists rather than being a detriment to their job. Spiderverse's team made an AI in-house with the artists and coders to have them draw the lines on Miles' face, run it through the AI to add them in with the animation. It helps reduce redundant tasks for the artists by the artists. This also was the case for the movie we watched, Klaus. You guys have to understand that AI, when it's AI art especially, when it's used well, artists get to actually benefit from it. And I will tell you, there's a lot of things in art that are everybody hates doing them. Okay? Maybe it's just me, but I have things I hate doing line work. Okay. If I could make or use some program to pull from my previous artwork and automatically put certain line work in and I can go in and edit, that would be such a time saver. I would be so happy. Can we see your art though? I mean, all of the emotes, almost every single emote in chat, if you're subbed, all the sub emotes are made by me. I think there's like 2 or 3 that are fan made. And then, oh man, I haven't done art drawing in so long. It's been such a long time. Oh, wow. Wow. Dare I show what I made? I don't. But what if you guys judge me? Then what? Then what do I do? Then what do I do? I'll judge you anyway. Okay. I did I'm a weeb. I need you guys to know that I'm a weeb, and I need there to be an understanding here, and I need there to be no judgment here. Okay? So if you guys can agree to these terms, then I'm yes. Then. Okay, this is like the stuff that I think I did the best. I'm not very good at doing realistic stuff, but I like to do like realistic objects and stuff, or like food items. So I had a lot of fun doing stuff like this, doing little paintings like this. But I am a weeb. I don't know if anyone remembers during the arc where everyone was drawing Bowser as a sexy woman. But I had fun doing that as well. I like drawing Bowser as a sexy woman. That was fun. Smile. And then I didn't get to finish this one, but I feel like if I had finished it, it would have come out really good. It's Karna from Shining Force.
DNMYA.
But I didn't get to finish it. And then there's like some doodles and stuff that I had fun with. Just some like little character design stuff. I have fun doing that. And then I also like doing, it's like a watercolor art style that I had fun doing. This is my Steven Universe fan art. You people shy. So yeah, I used to dabble a little bit. Do you post these anywhere? No, I just don't have the time to do art anymore. So if I had the time to do art, I would, but I don't, so it's okay. You drew Jenna before you met her. She is breasting boobily. She is breasting boobily. So yeah. It's also very time consuming. It's very time consuming to do art, which sucks. But it's very nice that you guys like them. That's very sweet of you guys. Thanks. I appreciate it. I always hated my art because I could never like nail a style that was consistent. And there were so many different styles that I wanted to dabble in, and there were so many styles that I wanted to work with, and I just couldn't pick. You know? I think the point, I still do doodles on like paper, here and there. It's good. I would have roasted you if it was bad. Aw, thanks. Aw. Why is Miles pogging so hard? I tried to come up with something funny and I didn't. So if you guys could just put KEKW in the chat and pretend like I did, that would be cool. Anyways. Yeah, so anyways. Oh, I started making like a starting soon screen initially. And then I got tired and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And I was fucking exhausted on working on it. Because I do a lot of revisions when I draw. Like, I'll do one beginning phase, and then I might go in and change a lot. And redo, like, I draw the way that game developers develop because their higher ups decide that they're going to change the whole game. But this is what I was working on. And then I decided I was just going to commission an artist, which I am so happy that I commissioned an artist because they did an amazing job. Okay. I think we can all agree that my starting soon screen, it looks gorgeous. Like, look at this. They did an amazing job and they were super receptive to criticism and they were super receptive to, I don't even call it criticism, but like all the revisions I asked for, they did perfectly. And it really did come out exactly what I wanted to look like, which was really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. What's the command again? Exclamation point credit, I think is what the command is. And they did all the animating as well. Like the little text moving up and down and the blinking and stuff. They did everything. I did not have to outsource a different artist to do the animation. And they also did the ending soon screen, which doesn't get as much love because it doesn't get shown as much. But they did an amazing job. And I gave them very little to work with. I do the thing that every artist loves, in my opinion, which is I draw like a really ugly version of what I want. And then I tell them to make that, but not ugly. And that's what I did. I drew like an ugly ass thing and then a keyboard. And they're the ones that added all these little stickers and stuff. And they added all these lights. They came up with the entire background themselves. Like all I told them, I think, was I want it to be a desk. There's a computer here, keyboard, mouse, chair, and then like one of my cats. And they did everything else themselves. I don't even think I gave them any notes on the ending soon screen. I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. Holy shit. This is perfect. I think the only thing I told them was like, I wanted it to have that sort of like crayon look. But they were an artist that already did that, which is why I picked them. That's why I reached out to them. I was like, I like the style that it's in. I like that it's with the like the crayon pencil or whatever. Can you do it again? Could you do that for me? And they did an amazing job. Credit, they go by like Pixel Skull. This person. If anyone here is looking for an artist to commission, please go commission them. Aw, they have mine pinned. Aw, that's so cute. I'm gonna cry. Anyways, yes, please go. If anyone here needs art. And they're also they're a very cool person. Very sweet, very easy to work with, really amazing like time. Usually when you work with artists, it's kind of a toss up on like how long it'll take. But they were very communicative and they're like just super clear with everything. Just, hey, I should get back to you by this time. I'll have it here. And then they always met the deadlines that they gave me. And I was like, this is amazing. And they were also really fast, by the way. It was incredible. I had started making a starting soon screen. This is what I came up with. This is what I drew. And then I decided I don't want to finish this anymore. And I'm fucking tired of working on this after I spent already like 12 hours on it. And I was like, fuck this. No, I'm done. I'm going to outsource this to somebody else. I don't want to finish this. I got so mad and frustrated because there were so many things that were not working for me. That I got frustrated. I got so frustrated about it. I did enjoy the way certain things came out. Like I think the phone and the hands came out pretty good, but yeah. Okay, enough of this silly shit. I just want you guys to know that This is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. And if I come off like an asshole talking about AI art, it is not from the position of, who cares about those fucking artists? It's coming from the position of someone who loves art. And if I could do nothing, if I had no labor that I was forced to make, I would love going back to drawing and making what I want to make. You know? This is not the position of like, fuck those artists. They're being greedy. Okay. Starting soon screen is so nice though. Love that artist. Amazing job. So back to this. Spiderverse had one of the largest team of animators ever to work on this animated movie. I can assure you that they didn't steal anyone's job. This is ethical use of AI. It's not stealing from anyone. It's making the animator's life easier by eliminating repetitive tasks. Reminder that even on the first Spider-Verse movie, the team literally had used AI in the process of making the film. So like this. Let's see what the video
about
shows.
The expression. Form lines describe the shape of something. A thing like a nose. The effects team did this amazing thing where we had the character designer make a library of drawings. So that was something we could make rules for. This is the way that nose would look from this head angle to camera. And we made a whole bunch of poses that defined that. And the effects team would recreate those in 3D space with those rules of head angle to camera, and then let the machine learning program try and guess where those drawings would go. And a person would correct it every time it was wrong, making it therefore another rule. And little by little, we're teaching the computer to make drawings that we find redundant. Learn about the expression.
This is so fucking cool. Anyone here who's done animation, I dipped my toes in it for probably a month, maybe less. And then I decided this is way too much fucking effort. I am not doing this. I'm sorry. I would rather jump off a bridge into a fucking moat filled with fucking spiders. Okay. This is animation is so time consuming and it's so exhausting. This is cool though. This over here, predictions from machine learning. And then here's the adjusted predictions.
Drawings that we find redundant.
Because it's a lot easier to go in and make a couple changes than it is to have to redraw it every time. Every time. And this is totally fine. This is a usage of AI for the purposes of art, right? They have a library of images, and the library of images are fed through this AI that guesses what it should look like. It's a tool. There are acceptable uses and there are unacceptable uses. This is, in my opinion, a totally acceptable use. So when you talk about banning AI art, first off, it's not going to be possible. Second, it's not the usage of AI and like libraries. That's not the problem. The problem is the abuse of artist labor. The reason artists charge a lot, because this is the thing, this is one of the major reasons that people don't commission or can't commission, because artists, they charge a lot, but it's honestly the case that artists undercharge, actually, because they've spent 10,000 hours honing that craft that you don't see. Maybe they only spent 5 hours on what you asked them for, but that doesn't count all of the time they spent getting to the point where they could do that, right? And also as a game dev, this is just helpful tools. I can focus on the shit that I actually want to work with. Not a tool trying to underpay us. Yes. Yes. So my perspective on this is essentially we need to regulate the shit out of AI, and we need to be able to use AI in ways that are productive and good and make everybody's life better than the shit that we deal with right now. And ideally, hopefully, we can have so much automation in society that labor is not a requirement anymore. You know? I don't think Asmon would be this smart to use this example. Okay, Asmon he's fucking out of his element talking about this stuff, okay? He's totally out of his element talking about this shit. Whoa, I don't charge for commissions. I just ask that people donate however they think it's worth, or don't pay if they can't afford it. What the fuck? Oh my God. No, you should. I'm sorry. You do you, and it's your life, and I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but you should fucking charge. I personally, as an artist, when I commission someone, if they, in my opinion, didn't charge enough, I just tip them whatever I think they should have been charged, or they should have charged me. If they charge me like $200 and I look at the piece of work and I'm like, no, this is worth 400. I will tip whatever I think I have to support you as an artist, because that's what you deserve. And I know that you're undercharging so that you can stay in the market. So I'm going to try and subsidize for that. I'm going to try and do my part. You know? Anyways, okay. No, I didn't mean to close that. Okay.
I don't think it's that different.
Stop talking. Silence, man. There was one other response that I saw as well that was really useful. Here's where I talk about it. I hate misguided attempts to protect every job. Automation is good. I think companies that get to enjoy record profits year after year after year should pay some fucking taxes. If a portion of the money saved on labor due to automation was redistributed as UBI, that would be based. And UBI is sort of the, let's just pretend like, close your eyes and pretend like we live in an ideal world. If you don't want to, sure, whatever, I don't care. The ideal world is every time we automate something, the people in that job force should get some UBI in exchange for the company making profit. You know, nobody else has to work fast food. Fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Working fast food sucks. But if McDonald's gets to make fucking another $1 billion this year because they no longer have people working, yeah, pay that back in taxes. Pay back like 90% of that in taxes. Whatever money you made off of removing human labor, that should be paid back to the people who live in society. I had a low rate doing motion graphics, so they'd keep bringing me back. My director texted me saying your rate is too low. They think you're not good. Raise it. Damn. I've told artists what I'm actually going to pay them if I think that they're undercharging. Based. 100% based. Oh, straw man. That's true. Yeah. This was the point I tried to make in the Discord. Yeah. It's just TLDR. I don't mind automation so long as there is compensation. I don't think defending jobs innately because it's a job is worth your time and effort. I think what's worth your time and effort is demanding compensation. If you as a company get to make millions off of all this entire database of artwork that you stole, you should be fucking compensating the workers, and they should have the right to ask you to remove their art from your database. Now, implementation is a shit show on this front, but banning AI is not the solution, sadly. How great would it be that if you had an hour paid off that you could spend however you want? Exactly. No automation without compensation. They should have the right to be asked first. Yeah, this would be working backwards. So any future AI developers would be forced to request access first. I said it twice. But for all previous companies, you should be able to reach out and be like, I know you're using my database. The database should be public as well, by the way. It should be the case that you have to show the entire database of art. So anyone who is being used knows. And if you don't care and you're like, whatever, those are just doodles to me. I don't do this. I just do it as a hobby. I don't really care. Cool. But if you care, you should have the right to know who's abusing your labor, and you should have the right to get compensated or get removed from that. All right. Moving on that. There was one other thing that I wanted to highlight about this. this is also a very important part, okay? How do I even phrase this point? Let's rewatch the video and then we'll read the tweets and then we'll go from there.
Ready to expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No. Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence
It
is
doesn't
that
matter. Nobody really
the
cares about
lead
this.
developer
The fact that he said he doesn't care because it was fun is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, by the way. That's the equivalent of like, yeah, that the burger I ate, it was made with suffering. I don't care. It tasted good. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking dumb opinion. That's dumb. Everything else he said was fine because it was just describing how the market is.
has been very positive about AI in the past.
Oxminer, we'll
and
watch it in a
made
second.
an AI game.
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're gonna be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter because what matters.
And this triggered people, understandably so. Maybe triggered is the wrong word there because this statement is mean. If he had just said sadly in front of that statement, it would have been fine. Sadly, the artist opinions don't matter. Sadly, the only thing that matters is people want to buy the product. Perfect. In my opinion, there would be nothing incorrect about that statement. There's nothing wrong with pointing out reality. There's something wrong with being callous about it as if it is not affecting someone.
This is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares. Like, it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these, like, really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up. I like watching the Thor movie. It was cool.
Sorry, but thinking Marvel is cool. Sorry. It just fits. That's all I'm going to say. And that's why people are tweeting shit like this. POV, you are a consumer who's going to tell thousands of artists to get their shit together. You just come off like a fucking asshole when the shit that you enjoy is made off of laborers that you are belittling. It's giving, I go to McDonald's 4 times a week, but those workers don't deserve minimum wage. They don't deserve to be able to live in their cities. To say, I'm going to play because I think it's good and it's fun. And you guys can go suck it. It's like, dude, these are the people that make your games. And here's the thing, very similar to how there will always be developers. It doesn't matter how good AI gets. There's always going to be people that are developers that are writing code and shit, right? Making sure that something is working as it should and constantly making micro adjustments, etc., right? There will always be artists making adjustments to shit that AI just can't do correctly. Artists kind of will always exist in that sense, right? Because, All right. Anyways. Next topic. Now, The reason I have such a bone to pick with the labor argument, which is what he criticizes here. One second.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter, because what matters is the opinion of
No, not this
been,
part.
like one of the
yeah,
games.
we're gonna be playing
and
this week.
yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and you know, I guess general Twitter population, which is that you know, AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI
Is he talking to Ludwig? Oh, he's watching Ludwig's Mogul Mail. Ah. Got it.
AI and the sentiment from artists opinion.
Okay, so they're talking about job thing. The reason why I don't like the job argument is sort of on this front. It's like, it's summarized well here in these tweets, which is why I'm going to read them just to get to the point. The labor side of this debate is still removed from reality. Plenty of people who boycott this game will gladly fork over for games developed on 100+ hour crunch schedules with below living wage, but they draw the line at AI. And I think that's really where, like, I don't want to say I draw a line, but I take issue with the way that people have been talking about their labor as artists. Because you have to recognize that you're also abusing a worker, you know? But that's why I always try to push for improvements in the labor force rather than, I can't believe anyone would do this when it's literally exploiting the labor of artists. Bro, every game you play, every single video game you've played, except for maybe some indie games, were done with unbelievable crunch. People working 80 hours a week so that they can meet a schedule of when the game is supposed to be launched. Even though in reality, game development takes a lot of fucking time. You can think that something will take 2 years. You get to that point and you realize halfway through, oh fuck, we made a huge mistake with how we set this system up. We have to start from scratch on this. Oh, you're good, Octminer. You know? Do you guys understand my frustration with people's reaction to this? Because I think their heart is in the right place. And as someone who loves art and everything about art and art history, I want those workers to be paid, okay? I want people to be compensated. And in an ideal world, I would love to have crazy automation tech that makes everyone's life better. Because people, you know what? They protested against factories and they protested against removing coal jobs and they protested against factory farming. And all of those things made our lives better. It's sad, but modern farming is just more effective at feeding a population than how we used to farm without tractors, how we used to farm without any pesticides or GMOs, right? Factories, in terms of creating goods, kind of made people's lives better. Having a machine make clothing so everyone has clothes and you don't have to pay a fuck ton of money for one tailor to make your outfit or your shirt, and you can only afford one because it's handmade. That's bad, right? New technology is good. And I would argue it's almost always good. There are exceptions, always. There's always going to be exceptions to everything. Technology is good. The problem, as usual, is always capitalism. Technology is not a problem, it's a tool. The problem is never the tool, it's the hand of the person holding the tool. Yes. Oh, don't get me. So again, look, it's capitalism. Again, don't worry. I'm very familiar with Monsanto and what they've done and how they have fucked farmers, which I think has been probably the greatest injustice in the past century, in my opinion. Now, it's hard to pick one considering how many people have been fucked over in the past century. However, the financially ruining the lives of the people who literally feed us has to be one of the most evil things you can do as a corporation. And I hope every single person who's worked at Monsanto is never able to have a proper night's sleep for the rest of their lives. I hope they toss and turn every 20 seconds. Okay? Fuck those people. Those are demons incarnate. So again, the issue with GMOs is that you can create a plant with sterilized seeds and maintain a monopoly on seeds. They should not have that ability to do that. You should not be able to have that much control over farmers because you made a new product. No. That should be illegal. And maybe we don't fuck over the people who are literally feeding us. The reason you get to have bread in your pantry, or for that matter, anything in your pantry or fridge, maybe those people shouldn't be getting fucked over and that money going straight to a piece of shit corporation. GMO as a tool is good. It has prevented a million different famines. If you want a good history on GMOs, look into GMOs with regards to rice in the Asian continent. It's actually very incredible. Because anyone here who's met a single person from any country in Asia, you know that they love their rice. They love that. There is not a single person that I have met who has any Asian ancestry and doesn't like rice. All right. All of those fuckers, they be eating rice. Okay. Go all the way from Pakistan to Japan. That entire area, they love their rice. Not to say that there aren't other places that love rice as well, but they love their rice. Okay. How is AI jacking artists, making the world better? You have to recognize that if corporations didn't need graphic designers to painstakingly create work, and they still compensated the artists for all of the art that allowed that AI to create what it created, all you're doing is letting artists make what they want to make. Which, as an artist, I will tell you is amazing. I would love to make art of whatever the fuck I want to make and get paid for it and not have to live off of commissions and freelance work. I would love for corporations that use AI stuff to give a share of the profits that they get to enjoy because they're using my art in their process. Or you don't want to go that far? How about what we were just looking at? Maybe you think that that's still unethical and there's problems and whatever. Sure. Whatever. I'm not going to argue with you on in my opinion, minute moot point. What about stuff like this? This is the usage of AI to make artists' lives better. That within an industry for animating movies or films, animations, the artists and the coders can work together to remove painstaking shit. Outside of compensation as an illustrator, I get bummed when people copy my work. Yeah, of course. I don't know if there's a single artist that likes it when other people copy their work.
Describe the shape of something. A thing like a nose. The effects team did this amazing thing where we had the character designer make a library of drawings. That was something we could make rules for. This is the way that nose would look from this head angle to camera. And we made a whole bunch of poses that defined that. And the effects team would recreate those in 3D space with those rules of head angle to camera, and then let the machine learning program try and guess where those drawings would go. And a person would correct it every time it was wrong, making it therefore another rule. And little by little, we're teaching the computer to make drawings that we find redundant. Learn about the expression.
Which is really cool. I just wanted to play it again for anyone who's like jumping in now and hadn't seen it. Also, Copper Miner, thank you for the gift sub. Dynamic Jab, thank you for the gift sub. And thank you for the 12 months. Tiny Zucchini, thank you for the 3 months. Rodeo, thank you for the 13 months. Coconut, thank you so much for the 12 months. Shoegaze, thank you so much for the 5 months. Contraman, thank you for the 5 months. Weira, thank you for the 13 months. Candy, thank you for the 13 months. Moonbeam, thank you for the 9 months. Sorry if I missed anyone. Just trying to go back because I was so invested in the conversation that we were having. Close to home at the moment, but the entire cannabis seed industry is actually collapsing due to triploids, oyster use under the pretense of protecting lineages. What a shit show. Nice. I love capitalism. Guess how many times I've found my sticker designs on Amazon, Alibaba, etc.?
Reading my tweet live is Spooky Monka W.
Sorry, Z. So anyways. Yeah, the whole... Actually, my friend made a piece of artwork in high school of Jake from Adventure Time as a mailman, because I think he does that in one of the scenes in the episode, and she drew it, and fucking, I don't remember if it was UPS or USPS, stole her art and put it on a fucking stamp or some shit. People be stealing, what I say. People be stealing. Just as an aside, the Spider-Verse movies are so good. They're so good. I love them. I'm a fucking loser, okay? I love animation. I would die for animation. And that's not just because 2D greater than 3D, although that's most of it. I will be real. Okay? I'll be honest with you guys. This is still a really funny post, though. Yeah. If you're Asmongold and you can't laugh at this post, you're a fucking snowflake, Asmon. You should be able to laugh at this post. IMO. If you live like this and you choose to live like this when you have enough money to hire a fucking maid, I don't know how much y'all know. If a streamer has more than 10,000 viewers, they are swimming in money, okay? They're swimming in it. So people are not judging you because you're neurodivergent. They're judging you because you are choosing to live like that, okay? You're choosing. All right? People think this is a bit. I don't even think I could maintain this as a bit for more than a month. And that's pushing it. And that's pushing it. Because you know what? I still have respect, by the way. The smallest amount. I don't like the guy. He's a fucking loser. But I still at least have a little respect for XQC. For recognizing that he lives like a fucking disgusting creature and hiring cleaners to maintain his space. He gets this much respect for that. Okay? For understanding and recognizing that living like this is unacceptable And that if you have the ability to do so, you should fix this. So my juicer gets that credit. Okay? That. The bit is called mental illness. Oh my God, you out of pocket, man. You out of fucking pocket. Okay. I think that's about it. I think when you focus on the labor aspect and the losing jobs aspect, you run into a lot of issues, especially regarding the labor of the workers that work on every single video game you enjoy. I promise you, unless you're playing an indie game, chances are there were workers that had to do 80-hour crunch weeks and were fucked over almost 1 million times by the publishers. You know, it's just kind of. And I think there are a lot of good ways that we can criticize it and a lot of meaningful ways that we can criticize AI art and the direction that it's going in without engaging in poor criticism. Rockstar and Blizzard, yeah. Indie games too, I guess. I bet. Well, there's indie games that are made by like 2 30-person teams. Right? I don't think those people are getting crunched by anyone. If they are working, doing 100-hour work weeks because they just love what they're doing, yeah, that's fine. Are you kidding me? Fucking sick. If you like something so much you want to spend 100 hours on it a week, based. Right? When it's, yeah, you don't have a choice. You have to show up for the next week every single day, and we're going to pay you pennies, and you're going to work 100 hours. Because we don't feel like publishing this on your schedule. We're publishing it on our schedule. So I will admit, indie maybe is not the best word because there are indie companies that are still abusing their laborers. Point taken or whatever. Indie companies that aren't. Right? Indie companies that aren't at the whim of someone else, and it's just individual workers.